Well, after a wonderful stage yesterday, the rain's falling and it's showing no breaking in the clouds. Stage 3 initially was supposed to be 154 kilometres long. It's been shortened to 89.5 kilometres. That's due to the weather conditions, the high winds. They're going to start at where the first intermediate sprint was due to be, and this is where we will be starting. This is in Vinodolski. Originally, of course, we were supposed to start in Tojac. We're heading for Opatia still, and of course we've had stage finishes here in the past. Last year it was Niccolo Padacini who won. Back in 2021 it was Stevie Williams. They're going to head inland, and then they'll have that long descent as they head towards Opatia. There's no neutral start, and immediately Team DSM Firmenich, well, they're wanting to start with a few riders up towards the front. And you can just see from the bushes and the trees on the left-hand side of the screen just how windy it is. You've got this head crosswind, which is blowing from the east of the riders. There's going to be some riders here in this peloton who are absolutely hating every minute in these kind of conditions, whilst on the other hand, there's going to be some riders who are absolutely thriving. They love these kind of wet, windy conditions, and even if they don't necessarily love it, they just somehow seem to perform in these kind of conditions. Never really suffer their way through. Number 85, you could just see there in that navy blue jersey. Moving forward is a couple of riders from Cajaroal and Bahrain Victorious. We've got the local knowledge today. As you see the weather conditions, 14 degrees, an easterly wind of 31 kilometres per hour, 87% chance of rain. Well, I can tell you it's 100% raining right now. Take a look down from these helicopter shots, and there's lots of teams and riders represented, but there has been a split. One of the riders there off the front is from Polti Kometa, and just coming over the brow of the hill in the background, the peloton has indeed split into several groups. There's Alexander Kristoff, who's 62nd overall in the general classification. Normally, these kind of conditions favour the Norwegian, the former European champion, but let's see, he said on day one, even though he won the stage, he didn't feel that good. He didn't feel like his form was quite there. Kamil Gradek, who's on the front for Team Bahrain Victorious, 65.2 kilometres to go. Just on his wheel is Fran Miholjevic. They've got good insider knowledge of these kind of roads because Fran Miholjevic, he comes from Rijeka. He's the local rider, and a lot of these roads will be his training roads. There's the profile of the day. We've had one King of the Mountain of the day so far. We've got 2 intermediate sprints followed by 2 more King of the Mountains, both of those third category King of the Mountains. However, there are no bonus seconds awarded, so there'll be no fighting on that small lap once we get towards the finish for the bonus seconds, and there's no modifications either on the finish line. Hear the screech of the tyres. Moljevic on the front, still the wind continues to blow all of the spray up in the faces of the riders. There's the classification in the King of the Mountains. It's Axel van der Tuk who has 26 points, 2 Merkialdi's 10, with Van der Wood and Munoz on 6th. 6 points. Axel van der Tuk, he took 6 points earlier on in today's stage, so he's got quite a runaway in that competition. Miholjevic just makes sure he rides it half road. He only allows a number of riders to be protected, and there are his teammates. 53.8 kilometres to go. Oh, we've got a new situation here. It's all started to fragment. Take it gingerly round the roundabout, out the other side on the left-hand side of the road. One of the riders from the Ineos Grenadiers here, well, he's going to try and attempt to take a little bit of a flyer. Look at that for one of the riders, using the roundabout to the advantage. The groups are spread all over the place here. Pleasure Hour with one rider, and likewise with Polti Cometa. Where is the defending champion, Alois Aulard? We joined the front of the race. This is one of the riders from the Ineos Grenadiers. He goes over the roundabout. This looks like it's the young German rider, Kim Hajduk. He's got a little bit of an advantage, and it was just due to the fact he used the roundabout to his advantage. Right now they're travelling with a tailwind. Bahrain victorious. Well, they had the strength in numbers earlier on. Likewise with Team DSM Firmin at Postenel, they have 4 riders within the group.
Light forward, light forward, light forward, light forward.
23 riders roughly within the group. 23 to 30 riders. There's the 24-year-old German rider from Cologne. There's a little bit of an advantage over the group that's chasing. One rider who's tried to clip off the front, got a black jersey on. Let's see who it is coming across. Well, he's one of the riders from UAE Team Emirates. The tailwind still roars behind. So Kim Hajduk's going to have company. Behind, there's not really too much cohesion from the peloton. It looks as though it's Brandon McNulty who's coming across with 50.5 kilometres to go. 2 riders at the head of the race, McNulty and Hajduk. McNulty, well, he came here for the general classification to win overall. Let's see, because tomorrow would have been his big day, his big opportunity on the Queen stage, on stage 4 when we head to Labine from Kirk, and he's using the conditions, he's using this kind of race as maybe as a springboard, a launch pad to try and gain time on his rivals. And well, why not? Because on this kind of course, particularly in the next 7 kilometres or so, they're going to start to climb for around 13 kilometres. That'll take them to 30 kilometres to go, and then they'll descend their way towards Apatia. But the roads are just continually up and down, undulating. There's no real respite, because even on the descents where it could take a moment to lay off the pedals, it's the mental stress. The gap now at 37 seconds for the duo who are out front. Bahrain victorious are the team who are trying to control on the front. They're the team that, from the very beginning of this stage, they've always wanted to make sure that they can try and get something out of today. They've got the upper hand. Pavel Bittner sitting there in third wheel, and Turner in second wheel for the Ineos Grenadiers. So this is working out well for the Ineos Grenadiers as they go out front, they go into the forest, they go into the trees. It's a little bit more sheltered, a bit more protected. .36 seconds, 43.6 kilometres to go. Kim Hajduk, he's never won a professional race during his time at the Ineos Grenadiers. Could today be the day that starts to change? On the other hand, Brandon McNulty, 15 professional victories during his career, now queued at 36.5, having been on the back foot for a long time. They've managed to get numbers up towards the front. That's David Dela Cruz who's on the front, helping out Bahrain victorious. And oh dear, Kim Hajduk is unable to respond to Brandon McNulty. He speaks into the radio. He lets his teammates and his sports director know that he's no longer able to follow the wheel of the rider from the UAE Team Emirates. And now McNulty takes a look over his left-hand shoulder and he thinks, perfect, bingo. Let me put in another dig, another acceleration. 3 seconds is the advantage. He's still got a fair while to go until they're going to get to the top of this climb. Another 11 kilometres for Hajduk, and seeing the way that McNulty is able to continue to ride away, there's no coming back for the German rider here, and this is really where McNulty is into his strongest. This is where he's at his best. These nice consistent climbs. A little bit of undulation along the way. There's one point in 6 kilometres time where you have a short descent followed by a steep kicker, and then you have that plateau, and then it starts to rise and climb again. Don't forget, our leader in the general classification, Giovanni Lunardi of Pole Team Commenter, he's in this group. What a day to be in the leader's jersey. Number 67 here, that's Anjay Ravbar, the apprentice from the Gen Z squad of UAE Team Emirates, riding up to the World Tour team here at the CRO Race. 19-year-old Slovenian rider. He's trying to learn as much as possible. Number 65 with the black jacket just folded up a little bit. That was yesterday's stage winner, Sebas Milano, the 29-year-old Colombian. Minute and 11 seconds to the red jersey group. McNulty, don't forget he's an individual time trial champion of his nation, America, the USA. He's right into his forte now. Through the intermediate sprint in Sarshoni. Takes the 5 points, he takes the 3 bonus seconds. Bonus seconds that are available today, because don't forget there's no bonus seconds at the finish line, there's no bonus seconds at the final intermediate sprint when he gets to Opatia. We've seen in the past, if he wanted to go for the general classification, how close it's been come the final day into Zagreb. Now the peloton behind, they try and get themselves organised. They know that there's still 1 second available. Eduardo Zampanini's there, as is Foldager from Jaco Alula. Right now on the front, that's Rob Stanov, the Australian for Bahrain Victorious. He takes a look over his right-hand shoulder. Where's his teammate? Well, he's sitting in third wheel. Still there is Tobias Lund. Foldager well positioned. The rider from Jaco Alula starts to make the acceleration. On the left side, Foldager starts to come round. Zampanini's going to have to be careful. Well, it's Foldager who comes through. He takes the 1 remaining point in the 1 second. Zampanini's denied. And it's Kim Hajduk. Don't forget, he's still in between our lone leader, Brandon McNulty, and the peloton itself. He's still got 43 seconds of advantage over the peloton. Hajduk. His gap starting to come down. Very shortly he'll be swept up by the peloton. He's only got around 11 seconds of an advantage now to the peloton behind. 35 kilometres remain for Brandon McNulty, our lone leader, who now increases his advantage to 1 minute and 12 seconds to the red jersey group. And right now, the ambitions of taking the red jersey in the general classification are starting to really bode well. Well, there is the advantage from the helicopter shot. Now that the Ineos Grenadiers know that Kim Hajduk is no longer there, they're starting to contribute, and they've put 1 rider up towards the front with Bahrain Victorious. Onto the little plateau, up the steep little kicker. Red Bull Bora Hansgrohe move up with Ben Zwiehoff. Confident in these conditions, the former mountain biker. There's the results of the intermediate sprint in Sarshoni. That's Brandon McNulty takes the 5, Hajduk with the 3, Foldager taking the 1. 3, 2 and 1 bonus seconds for the first 3 riders too, don't forget. He's constantly eating and drinking, McNulty, constantly keeping himself topped up, on top of the carbohydrate intake. you're looking at around 120, 130 grams of carbohydrates per hour that riders are wanting to take, whether that be through gels, bars, or the carb drinks. One of the best ways, particularly on a day like today, to take it in through the gels and through fluids. But nevertheless, some days like today, they're very, very hard to keep on top of your fueling strategy. It's very stressful. Sometimes if you're a little bit cold, you never really think that you need anything. You don't feel that you're thirsty per se. And sometimes these are the days where you can really pay for some of those kind of mistakes. So Van der Tuck in the green jersey extended his advantage in the King of the Mountains competition today as he takes off his rain jacket, hands it to the red race director's car, the commissaire car, the president's. There's Luis Aular. Luis Aular is the defending champion of the CRO Race, by 3 seconds to Christoph last year, and the Venezuelan rider from CRO Seguros is not going to be enjoying these kind of conditions. One kilometre to go until he'll get to the top of this unclassified climb, this rise. Then he'll start to descend and make his way towards Apatia. Look at the way he attacks each and every little bit of rise. Filippo Ganna now on the front for the Ineos Grenadiers. David de la Cruz is there in the black jersey with the greeny lime green helmet. It's the Spanish rider for Q36.5. Two more riders of the Ineos Grenadiers just behind him. By two from Team DSM Firmenich Postinel. Well then, what's happened here? A bike on the floor behind. Brandon McNulty is putting his head unit back onto the bike, out of the saddle. He's back underway. The team car was there. Well, Brandon McNulty needs a bike change. He's dropped the bike on the floor with quite a throw. Head unit in the mouth, the mechanic is out of the car, Robert is pushing McNulty back underway with a spare bike, gets himself going once again. Well, that was pretty slick. On the descent down the other side, the Ineos Grenadiers lead. One rider down, that's one of the riders from Team DSM Firmenich Postinel who's just slid out of the corner on that right-hand corner. Not good news, and one of the riders from Q36.5 is caught up too. They're both looking like they're okay, fortunately. The riders from Team DSM Firmenich Postinel, he's back on his feet. Gap to McNulty, 34 seconds, 23 kilometres remain for the man from Phoenix. Michael Leonard still here, Ben Turner, Ganna and Hajduk. The riders a little bit further down, where you can start to see that this group is being whittled down due to the pace, but also the fact that some riders are just not able. Don't forget, it's been quite an intense short day. They're just not able to follow the wheels, and the fact that when weather conditions probably starting to get to some riders now. Tobias Lund is there. There is Cyrus Monk of Q36.5. Also still in the group is number 35, that's Fredrik Wandal. Number 107, this is Jelle Johanning of TDT Unibet Pro Cycling. Cyrus Monk sits third overall in the general classification, only a few seconds down from our leader Lenardi. And right now, the Australian from Warragul is on the hunt for a pro contract because he's been informed only a couple of weeks ago that his contract won't be extended with Q36.5. Heading towards the final loops. 11.5 kilometres to go. They've got 2 King of the Mountains to go. They're going to enter on the right-hand side, a really sharp, tight right-hand bend, and then immediately the road will start to rise. Maholjevic of Bahrain Victorious leads them through. There is Mirko Maestri. Pierre-Andre Cote in the black jersey with the navy blue helmet on, the Canadian, starting to stretch things out. There's now the rider who's in the green jersey as the leader of the King of the Mountains competition. This is Axel van der Tuk of Metek, who's starting to find himself in difficulty. This climb is a real brute, 17% gradients along the way, and meanwhile, it's Brandon McNulty who still has the advantage. There's a reminder of the King of the Mountains standings. Pierre-Andre Cote, well, he's going to pick up 2 points here in the classification, but his big aim is to try and bring the man from the UAE Team Emirates back to heel. Ghana desperately holding onto the wheel. Also still there, trying to move up, is Igor Arriata and Pablo Castrillo of Equipo Kern Pharma. Oh, well, it's been a short-lived time in the red jersey as the leader of the classification. Giovanni Lunardi came into the day in the leader of the GC. He's now starting to be distanced. Top job, he's been in that peloton for a long, long time, and the sprinter, the Italian from Polti Commenter, well, he's potentially going to wave goodbye to that jersey. 7.7 kilometres to go, taking on what will be 7.4 kilometres time, the final 300 metres. 37 seconds, sorry, is the advantage for McNulty. Hear the bell this time. He's going to pick up the points, but bear in mind, no bonus seconds here at the finish. Five points in the intermediate sprint as they cross the finish line. Mirko Maestri is there in the white jersey with the red shorts, closely followed by Filippo Ganna. Look how this group is absolutely being decimated. 9 riders remain. Maestri crosses the line. There is Ganna, followed by Hajduk. Pierre-Andre Cote is there, as is the Norwegian, that's Zacharias Lowland. Tobias Lund is still in the group as Pablo Castrillo and Igor Arriata try and bridge their way back. 5 kilometres to go for our lone leader. McNulty, there's confirmation that he took the 5 points, 3 to Maestri and 1 to Ganna. Don't forget, no bonus seconds in that intermediate sprint like we would have normally. It's all been neutralised. Roland, the rider from Uno X Mobility, is trying to take a flyer inside the final 1.7 kilometres. He's not going to be able to do anything about the advantage of Brandon McNulty as long as the rider from UAE Team Emirates doesn't suffer a crash or a mechanical. Ganna chasing him down, Lund is there, as is Arriata. Pablo Castrillo is trying to move himself forward. 47 seconds. This man's last victory came on the opening stage of the Vuelta a España when he won the individual time trial, the 12-kilometre individual time trial when we were on Portuguese soil. He took the first red leaders jersey. But what a season it's been for McNulty. He's had 7 victories already this season. Absolutely remarkable. One of his most standout seasons since he turned pro. Pierre-Andre Cote in the black jersey as McNulty just takes it gingerly round that left-hand hairpin. On the right-hand side, in the green jersey of Equipo Kern Pharma, the 2-time stage winner of the Vuelta a España this year, with a standout performance, Pablo Castrillo is trying to launch and take a flyer. Lund is immediately reacting to the move of the Spaniard. Arriata is there in the white jersey. There is Ganna as Pablo Castrillo takes it a little bit wide, shaves a little bit of speed off. But meanwhile, nobody's going to be able to do anything about this man. A solo attack with 41 kilometres to go. He bridged across, don't forget, to Kim Hajduk with 51 kilometres remaining. This has been an absolute epic performance from Brandon McNulty, the man from Phoenix, The rider from UAE Team Emirates is going to deliver this 77th professional victory of the 2024 season for the Emirati team. A solo jaunt across the countryside here in the northern part of Croatia. Stage 3 goes to Brandon McNulty in Opatia, and well, his teammate Igor Ariata, the Spanish rider, is going to make it a 1-2. He's got an advantage on Lund, who takes it gingerly around that final left-hand bend. Ariata accelerates immediately out of the corner. Lund has got a lot of work to do if he wants to try and close the gap to the 21-year-old in the white jersey here. And well, this is going to be a runaway. It's going to be a 1-2 for the UAE Team Emirates duo. What a performance. Lund comes home for third. Ganna was up there, as was Lolan for New X Mobility. Still in that group was Pierre-Andre Cote, but where was Castrillo? He was there in the group. What happened?
McNulty!
A mic drop from Brandon McNulty. What a performance. In the general classification, McNulty winning the stage, and with that advantage he moves into the red jersey. So Van Nistelrooy continues to lead the King of the Mountains competition in that green jersey. We're going to day 4, the third day of wearing the jersey itself. Giovanni Lunardi in the points classification, with Tobias Lund now the new leader in the youth classification. Well, there's the stage results. Brandon McNulty wins 26 seconds ahead of Ariata. Lund in third, with Ganna, Lolan, Maestri, Cote, Barguil, Castrillo and Hajduk running out the top 10. Our new leader, McNulty, in general classification, 30 seconds ahead of Lunardi, with Lund moving into third. We'll see you tomorrow for the Queen stage, stage 4.